So hello everyone, it's a pleasure to be here with you today. My name is Hubert Inhäuser from PFC International, and I will be your host on today's public consultation webinar about the Turkish forest certification system. The agenda of the webinar is the same what we have on this consultation webinar. I will deliver a short introduction about PFC International for those who doesn't know it that well. And then the main item for the day is the presentation of the Turkish forest certification system. We have the national governing body in Turkey, the Association for Sustainable Forest Management, Forest Products and Services certification, and they will present the Turkish forest certifications for you. And as I mentioned, you can put your questions in the chat in the Q&A during the presentations, and at the end we will have time to answer those. In the meantime, I would like to ask the speakers to mute the microphones in order to improve the quality of the recording. And with this, let us start. So PFC, the acronym stands for Program for the Endorsement of Forest Certification Systems. We are an alliance of independent national forest certification systems under the umbrella of PFC International. All of these national forest certification systems are based on PEFC sustainability benchmark standards, like the standard setting requirements or the sustainable forest management standard. This is a voluntary mechanism promoting sustainable forest management through independent third-party certification. And we are very proud that we are the world's largest forest certification system and provider of 3/4 of the world's certified sustainably managed timber. On this next slide, you see a map about our coverage. The dark green countries are our members where we have endorsed PEFC systems. And in light green, you see those countries who are our members, but as of today, they do not have an endorsed certification system. You can also see Turkey in this category because this is the first time that Turkey developed a sustainable forest management system for PEFC recognition. And as soon as it's completed, we are very much looking forward to change this color to dark green. You see the blue spots are representing where the chain of custody certificates where we have it. The chain of custody certification at PEFC is at international standard, which means that in case we do not have SFM certification in the country, the chain of custody can still be issued. And just a couple of sentences about the Turkish forest certification system. As I mentioned, this system applied for a new endorsement to assessed for in May this year, so less than a month ago. This assessment is carried out by an independent assessor yet to be appointed. And as part of this assessment, we conduct a 60 days international public consultation. You can access this in the link, or if you just go to the pfc.org, it's easy to find. We opened this public consultation today. So until 2nd of August, all the stakeholders are invited and welcome to look at the complete documentation of the Turkish forest certification system and let us know if there's any comments or anything what you would like to voice regarding the system. All of these comments submitted to PFC International during this international public consultation will be considered by the assessor in the assessment report. So please do so until 2nd of August. And that was this very short introduction from my side. And now I'm going to stop sharing my screen and I will share the screen for Gözkel, who is going to talk about the Turkish forest certification system. I will just need a second to have this ready. And here we are. Thank you very much, Göksel, for being online. The floor is yours.
Thanks, Hubert. At the beginning, there were some technical problems in sharing the screen, so thanks for your kind help. We have presented our sustainable forest management system by end of April last month. So the assessment procedure has started, the timeline. So I want to give you a short webinar system information, what we have done so far and about our forestry and our work. Next slide, please. So the outline is a brief information about our country, Turkey, and the forestry context of Turkey. Thirdly, national standard setting process. Fourth, system procedures, and finally, conclusions. So just small information about our country, Turkey. If you haven't visited yet, you are most welcome. We have 85 million population with very rich historical and cultural background, heritage. The surface area of our country is 783,562 square kilometer, and the capital is Ankara. Next slide, please. So regarding forestry context of Turkey, I will show you some figures. So approximately 30% of our country area is covered with forests. 99.9, which is almost all forest land, are owned by the state, and it's under state's rule and disposition. 95% of these forests are natural forests. State forests are guaranteed by Constitution dated on 1982, Article 169 of the Constitution of the Republic of Turkey. Forestry is operated according to the Forest Law numbered 6831, dated on 1956. So short story history background about General Directorate of Forestry, which is the sole owner of our forests. General Directorate of Forestry, which we'll call GDF in abbreviated form, established in 1839 with Tanzimat Edict as a forestry directorate under the Ministry of Commerce for the follow-up of forestry services. Afterwards, the Faculty of Forestry was established in 1857 in order to meet the trained personnel needs of this directorate. The General Directorate of Forestry came to its present structure with the law number 3204, enacted in 1937, with the Forestry Law number 3116, which entered into force in the same year. The foundation of our modern forestry was laid. The current Forestry Law 6831 was enacted in 1956. So the structure, mission, and vision of General Directorate of Forestry is as follows. It manages approximately 30% of the country's surface area with 30 regional directorates of forestry all over the country. Mission is to protect forests, to develop them with an understanding close to nature, to manage them sustainably within the integrity of the ecosystem, and to provide multifaceted benefits to society. And the vision is to be transparent and effective institution in sustainable forest management practices. So some figures and the facts of our forestry. As I said, it's 99.9% state-owned, and we have 12,000 plant species, and 3,400 of them grow only in Turkey, which is indigenous. We have 7 million forest villagers, and we have 95% natural forest. One of the problems we have erosion. We are trying to avoid it, and we are combating. Regarding arid and semi-arid areas, we have 51 million hectares, which is about 65%. 56% medium-high mountainous terrain, and 62.5% sloping more than 15%. Average altitude is 1,232 meters. Regarding our forest area, which increased 3.2 million hectares in the last 50 years, starting from 1973 until 2023. It increased from 20.2 million hectares up to 23.4 million hectares. Regarding the growing stock, we reached 1,755 million cubic meters by 2023, and the annual increment per year reached 48 million cubic meters by 2023. Regarding distribution of tree species, we have the following composition: 48% coniferous, which is 11.2 million hectares, 32% deciduous trees, which is 7.48 million hectares, and 20% mixed forest, which is 4.69 million hectares. The composition of tree species are as follows: oak, we have 29%, red pine, we have approximately 23%, black pine, which is Pinus nigra, we have 17%, beechwood fagus, we have 8%, and juniper, we have about 7%. The others are 15%. So distribution of our forestry is as I mentioned above. Just few words about the flora of Turkey. We have very rich flora because of its geographical location, geological structure, climate diversity. The number of taxa in Turkey is around 11,400. The number of endemic taxa is around 3,700. So endemism rate is about 32%. It is not right to give exact figures for this number, which is increasing every day. And the distribution of endemic plants are, we have 826 endemic plants in the Mediterranean region, 471 in the Eastern Anatolia, 335 in the Central Anatolia region, 277 in Black Sea region, 171 in Aegean region, 102 in Marmara region, and 64 in the Southeastern Anatolia region. The remaining endemic plants are distributed in more than one region. Distribution of endemic plants by phytogeographic region is shown in the graph. As you see, we are quite rich in terms of flora. So our sustainable forest management national set, I want to say a few words about it. Our sustainable forest management national criteria indicator set are consist of 6 criteria and 40 indicators, and it was determined based on the Forest Europe process criteria and indicators in 2019, before we became a member of PEFC family. So this Turkey report of sustainable forest management criteria and indicators was published in 2020. At the implementation unit level, the development process of sustainable forest management criteria and indicator set will be carried out in 2 district directorates of forestry within the scope of GF7 project. This work is done by 2020. So a few words about employees and wood harvesting sector. We have certified employees they are certified by Vocational Qualifications Authority, Occupational Health and Safety. So in harvesting sector, we have 129,000 people working, and in non-wood forest products, we have 61,000 people working. In total, 190,000 people certified for harvesting of wood and non-wood products. So as for the certification part, we have currently we have 8.3 million hectares of forest, which is certified by 2023. This is roughly 35% of our forests. They are certified by FSC. 44% of annual harvesting is done in certified areas. So as for the future projection, total certified forest area will reach to 10 million hectares in 2024. Total certified forest area percentage will be approximately 43% in 2024. 65% of the harvested wood will be made from certified forests by the end of 2026. So the target is by 2030, we are planning to have 100% of our forest to be certified. And on the right-hand side, you see the column showing uncertified area, which is 13.4 million hectares, and certified areas 8.3, and to be certified 1.7 by the end of 2024. Industrial wood harvest amount is 22.6 million cubic meters. As you realize on the picture, by 2021 we had 27.7 million cubic meters. This was an exceptional number due to wild forest fires we had. We had to cut more than we planned. Normally, we don't exceed more than 60-65% of what is grown, annual growth rate. So this is about 22-24 million cubic meters per year. So here's some trade figures about wood industry. This is HS code 44, wood products import and export figures. As you see, we have $1.7 billion export value and roughly $1 billion import value in wood products with the HS code 44. And as for the wooden furniture import and export figures with HS code 94, we have again foreign trade surplus in wooden furniture, $2.2 billion export and $193 million import. We are active on wooden furniture export. And as for paper for recycling and pulp import-export figures, as you see, we have foreign trade deficit here. Our import is $1.3 billion and the export is only $122 million. And the last figure for paper and cardboard import-export figures. Here, again, we have foreign trade deficit, $3 billion import in paper and cardboard, and $2.5 billion export. As for non-wood forest products, our figures are: we have $532 million export and $370 million import. Regarding production of non-wood forest products, General Directorate of Forestry supporting rural areas, the forest villages, which is $35 million support to the villagers, and it returns to the country's economy as a surplus $300 million. And on the right-hand side, you see the harvesting amount by years from 2000 up to 2023. in terms of 1,000 tons. We have 350 different species in 2 million hectares, and this is also growing every year. Next slide, please. So, few examples from non-forest, non-wood forest products. We have laurel, hawthorn, lavender, thyme. So these are few examples. The contribution to the country's economy is, as you see, augmented tremendously from 2002 up to 2023, where is around roughly $500 million. And as for afforestation, according to FAO figures for 2020, we are between the years 2015 and 2020, we are ranking in the fourth in afforestation. This is already declared, and we are 27th for forest area alignment. And between the years 2010 and 2020, we rank 6th in the forest area increase. In this report, you can easily see it. Another slide for afforestation. Within the scope of forestry activities for the development and expansion of forests, studies have been carried out on an area of 9.4 million hectares since the year 1946. During this period, 9.97 billion saplings have been planted. So as for the wood harvest, General Directorate of Forestry, GDF, harvested an average of 30 million cubic meters of industrial wood and field wood from public forest annually. So this is the average. You know, it can be 25, 27, depending on the years, exceptional years. The harvest of wood is carried out and sold by General Directorate of Forestry, mostly by tenders. And GDF is the sole supplier of timber to the wood industry. As for the final products, which is wood-based products, are as follows. We have sawn wood production, panel production, edge glue panels, solid panels, furniture, biomass, paper and paper boards. And here, total particle board and MDF production all around the world is 215 million cubic meters by 2022. And Turkey is fourth biggest producer of particle board and second biggest producer of MDF in the world. And as for the action plans prepared by General Directorate of Forestry, few examples. Between the years 2022 and 2026, we have Laurel Action Plan. And again, between the same years, we have Truffle Forest Action Plan. And we have Acorn Action Plan and the Honey Forest Action Plan. Implementing non-wood forest product action plans is to increase the production and efficiency of non-wood products to ensure sustainable utilization and to rehabilitate their habitats. So few projects which is run by General Director of Forestry. Turkey Resilient Landscape Integration Project, which is called as TULIP, is funded by World Bank to strengthen integrated landscape management and increase access to improved livelihood opportunities and resilient infrastructure services for rural communities in targeted areas of Turkey. The second one is Turkey Climate Resilient Forest Project. This is also funded by World Bank. The aim is to strengthen institutional capacity for integrated fire management and to increase resilience of forests and people to wildfires in targeted areas of Turkey and to respond promptly and effectively in the event of an eligible crisis or emergency. The third one is contributing to land degradation neutrality target setting by demonstrating the LDN project in the Upper Sakarya Basin for scaling up national level. This is funded by FAO and GEF-7 project. The target was to maintain and increase the amount of healthy and productive land resources in line with the international development priorities. The fourth one is strengthening the conservation of biodiversity and sustainable management of forest landscapes in Turkey's Kaz Dağları region. This is funded by, again, FAO and GEF-7 to improve biodiversity conservation and sustainable forest management in the Kaz Dağları region for environmental and socioeconomic benefits. The other one is strength grading of local timber species. The target was to use solid timber in more value-added way, and this project is done in the last 2-3 years. 6 wood species, which is softwood species for using in structural way to make wooden buildings. We have tested our timber representative way from different areas of Turkey, and we have produced structural dimensional timber, and it is tested in the laboratories of civil engineering faculties, and the results are registered in European SEN committee, and this registration is done according to EN 1912. So now any wooden structure can be done by based on this calculation with C values of the species in pine, spruce, and fir. The other one is enhancing consumption of value-added wood products. So this project is funded by Ministry of Development in Turkey, together with General Directorate of Forestry, with Torrid Association, UAB, Turkish Timber Association, and UNDP Turkey. This analysis report is done by economist academicians, and to check the current status of the sector stakeholders, shareholders, and what can be done to enhance usage of timber in a value-added way. The last one is promoting low-cost, energy-efficient wooden buildings in Turkey. This project is funded by GEF-7, United Nations, UNDP, and again it's run by GDF, General Directorate of Forestry, UNDP, the associations, Torrid and UAB. It has started nearly a few months ago. It will be completed in 4 years' time. The aim is to build 150,000 square meters wooden buildings and show the energy efficiency. So, national standard setting process that we have prepared. So our association, which is called SOIDER, Association for Sustainable Forest Management, Forest Products and Services Certification, was established in 2020, and we became 55th member of PEFC family by 11th of November 2020. So founders of our association, the first one is General Directorate of Forestry, the second, Central Association of Forestry Cooperatives in Turkey, third one, Labor Union of Agriculture and Forestry, fourth, Foundation for Promoting Forestry and Combating Forest Fires, fifth, Turkish Forest Industry and Businessmen Association, sixth, Inegöl Furniture Manufacturers Association, seventh, the last one, Association of Tohum for Education, Culture and Nature. So these are the founding members of our association and main stakeholders of the forestry in Turkey. So SOIDER Association and COC works. This national standard complies with PEFC standard 1003. PFC Standard 2002, Chain of Custody of Forest-Based Products, endorsed 2021 January. PFC Standard 2003, Requirements for Certification Bodies Operating Certification Body of the PFC International Chain of Custody. So our certification bodies are Bureau Veritas Certification France, CSI, GCL International Limited, Naviga, SBG, and SGS. These are our certification bodies. The number of current active COC certification is 81 in Turkey. So this shows the graph of COC certification in Turkey. It's around 81 as per March 31st of 2024. And here you see the sectoral distribution of PEFC certified companies. The high majority is for pulp and paper packaging, it's 94, sawmill 12, furniture 11, textile 8, printing and publishing 7, wood procurement and wood trading 6, others 3, and construction 2. So Soider Sustainable Forest Management Stakeholder Mapping, the key stakeholders for the development of our standard are forest owners, GDF, Business and Industry Side Torrid Association, and the representative of NGO is Turkish Timber Industry, UAB. Scientific community is universities, Kastamonu University and Kahramanmaraş Sütçü İmam University. As for the work representative of Workers and Labor Union, ORCOP, which is also founding member of our association. And as for institutions and managers responsible for protected areas, TEMA Association. According to definition of UN, there are no indigenous people in Turkey, therefore they were not mapped in our list. So public consultation announcements are announcement by NGB published on the web page on November 26, 2021, period for applications more than 30 days. The media where announcement was placed and records from it, emails sent to identified stakeholders on January 25, 2022. There are two versions of SFM standards saved as e-files. These are the dates that we have saved them. As for working group meetings, working group consists of representatives of all partners that were in stakeholder mapping. 7 meetings of working group were conducted. The first 6 meetings were held online and the last organized in person in GDF main campus in Ankara. Updated versions of the standard shared with the working group participants via WhatsApp group, which includes all working group members. Zoom records for all sessions existed. Also photos and attendance list for the in-person meetings were saved. You see the pictures of the meetings online and face-to-face. As for the system procedures, principles of standard for the SFM, forestry goals, biodiversity, employment, traditional knowledge, sustainable forest resources, conservation and rehabilitation restoration, monitoring and evaluation. System procedures. The basis for the preparation of this standard is based on pan-European criteria and indicators for sustainable forest management, which were set out at the Ministerial Conference on the Protection of European Forests held in Lisbon in 1998. The process of determining this standard continued from January 2022 to October 2023. The standard consists of 7 sections, 18 thematic areas, 44 criteria, 163 indicators. The pilot field study is done in Bolu Regional Directorate of Forestry, Alada Forest District on between 26-28 February 2024. So this is this shows the section and thematic areas our SFM. We have 7 sections, 44 criteria, and 163 indicators. Just to go quickly over on them, the first section is the conservation of forest resources and appropriate development of their contribution to the global carbon cycle. So we have 3 thematic areas for this first section. First thematic area is forest inventory and forest planning. We have 2 criteria and 11 indicators for this. The second thematic area is conservation of forest resources in terms of quantity, quality, and structure. We have 2 criteria and 11 indicators again. And the third thematic area is establishment, protection, and development of carbon sink forests, with 1 criteria and 2 indicators. The second section is protection of the health and vitality of forest ecosystem. Again, we have 3 thematic areas: monitoring forest resources with 1 criteria and 8 indicators. The second thematic area is measures for the protection of the health and vitality of forest ecosystems. We have 1 criteria and 3 indicators here. And the third thematic area is restrictions, 4 criteria and 14 indicators. The third section is protection and support of forest production functions, wood and non-wood forest products. We have 2 thematic areas here. First one is forest products with 1 criteria and 8 indicators. The second thematic area is forestry activities and forest infrastructure with 1 criteria and 5 indicators. The fourth section is protecting, improving, and increasing the biodiversity of forest ecosystems. We have 3 thematic areas: forest of high ecological importance, forest practice in harmony with nature, and traditional management systems. The fifth section is maintenance and development of the conservation functions of forest, especially soil and water. And we have 1 thematic area here, which is forest protective functions. The sixth section is maintaining socioeconomic functions and conditions. Here we have 5 thematic areas: socioeconomic functions of forest, property and traditional rights, training and information development, occupational health and safety, compliance with the legislation. The last section is issues related to organization. We have 1 thematic area, internal procedures, with 5 criteria and 13 indicators. So system procedures: compliance with the existing legal framework related to forest management, game animals, water, agricultural land, nature and environmental protection, plant protection, safety and health regulations, the Turkish Special Plan. Turkey is a party to international conventions such as UNFF, UNCCD, Ramsar, and CBD, which are not legally required. Additionally, Turkey adheres to SFM requirements, which are mandatory in the country. So regarding system procedures, the criteria and indicators and all other requirements described in this standard have been determined on a voluntary basis with participatory approach, with the management of online and or in-person meetings as parties, stakeholders, members, and observers, with a focus on participatory approach and multi-stakeholder. The content of this standard is valid in Turkey and relates only to forest and forest lands in accordance with the definition in the Forest Law numbered 6831, compliance with the national system and or forest management plans for sustainable land use. So system procedures, forest owners shall determine 3 categories. The first one, affected stakeholders that are relevant to the sustainable forest management. Secondly, the relevant needs and expectations of the stakeholders. Thirdly, determine the boundaries and applicability of the management system to establish its scope. Forest owners shall secure record-keeping procedures that provide evidence of compliance with the requirements of this standard. Minimum period for keeping records and documents that are relevant as evidence is 5 years. Regarding system procedures, only products that are generated from certified forests according to requirements of the standards shall use the claim 100% PEFC certified. This claim shall be used only by forest owners with valid PEFC certificate issued by accredited certification body. When forest owners are selling forest products with PEFC claim 100% PEFC certified, to secure proper information for input material, following information shall be provided to customers. So, the following information is supplier identification, product identification, quantity of products, delivery identification based on the date of delivery, delivery period, or accounting period. The organization's name and PEFC customer of the delivery. And the other one, the claim 100% PEFC certified, especially for each claimed product covered by the documentation. And finally, the certificate number of the supplier's PEFC recognized certificate. So our national standard set was submitted to PEFC headquarters for the assessment by 1st of May 2024. So the conclusion is, strengths are transparent and participatory process, high commitment from stakeholders, integration of geolocation requirements in GIS for forest management plans, remote sensing tools to assess risks, state-based forest ownership and management since 1839. And the last strength point is strong Orbis database, which is forest information system. The challenges are process coincided with COVID pandemics, because we became a 55th member of PEFC family by November 2020, but afterwards we had the Corona period and the earthquake in the country, so we couldn't continue our preparing our file with full speed. We had on and off. That's why we were a bit late in presenting our SFM file. So majority of meetings have been held online, unfortunately. And the last one is earthquake calamity affected timelines of the preparations, as I said. But we are hopeful this assessment period will be finalized in coming months, and we will start our forest management system and the certification. So thanks for listening to my presentation, and if there are any questions, I can try to reply.
Thank you very much, Gözkal, for this excellent presentation. I think it was very detailed. I think that you included details which are very, very important to know for those who are aware so much about the Turkish forestry. I personally was very amazed by the added value what the Turkish forestry sector has in terms of products and exports. So thank you very much again for that. We will reach now this end of the agenda items, which means that now the participants, for those if want, they can ask questions. I don't see anything in the Q&A yet, so until maybe they prepare the question, I would have one myself, Gözkal, that just since you mentioned about the non-wood forest products and the honey and all of these, and I know that also the fruit production is very important in Turkey. I was just wondering that did you have any plans maybe in the future to work with the trees outside forest possibilities, or for the moment it's important to get the forest areas certified?
Well, at the first hand, we want this file to be assessed and endorsed as soon as possible, because as I mentioned about 8.3 million hectares are already certified by FSC, and we want PEFC certification to this status as soon as possible, because by 2030, General Directorate of Forestry is aiming to certify all forest area 100%. That's why, of course, we are planning to include trees outside of forest as soon as possible, but our first priority is to get endorsed for the first file that we have submitted.
Absolutely. No, thank you very much. This clarifies clearly. I don't see any questions from the audience. I myself think also it would be difficult to ask a question because it was so much details provided. So again, thank you very much, Gözkel, for that. And since we don't have any questions, it's time for the closure for today. I will just repeat that the stakeholders are welcome to look at the full Turkish system documentation and have their comments submitted to PEFC International until 2nd of August. And as Gözkel said, that we carry on with the assessment and we are looking forward to have the next endorsed system in Turkey in a short time. Please also visit the other webinars on our YouTube channel, because by now we almost have all the countries we have as this introduction webinar. So if you would like to learn about the other systems. And for now, I would like to thank again for all the participants who joined us today. And again, a big round